Good evening and welcome to round 10 here for the UkSimracers MX5 League, live from Zandvoort in Holland. I am James Parfitt and I'll be bringing you all the action with Daan Pepels in the booth with me this evening. Dan is joining me once again for this absolutely epic night of racing. 4 15-minute heats. No fast repairs, top 13 reverse after race 1. And what more can you ask for than doing it here at Circuit Zandvoort? Let's take a look at the track at the moment. 5 previous configurations of this circuit, 1 in use currently with a capacity of 105,000. The new Grand Prix circuit opened in 2020, a track length of 4.259 kilometers, 2.646 miles, 14 turns, and the track lap record currently held by Lewis Hamilton on a 111.097 in the W12, set in 2021. The circuit itself opened in the 7th of August 1948 and set in the sand dunes of Zandvoort in North Holland. And what more can we ask for than it hosting the UkSimracers MX5 League? It is one of the leagues that's going to be absolutely incredible, and with 4 15-minute heats you are in for an absolute treat of an evening, and 20 cars on track as well. What more can we ask for as we're going into the final 2 rounds? I think it's time we brought the one, the only Daan Pepels into the booth. Good evening, Dan. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, James. Yeah, James, I'm doing absolutely fine. A little bit of a shorter trip this time for me, of course, staying in my own country, the Netherlands, and not Holland, like I saw it spelled. It's the Netherlands. Holland is a province in the Netherlands, for everyone who got confused. But yeah, James, yeah, in the Netherlands here, and yeah, have to say I'm glad to be back home again.
No, I bet you are. Now, tell us, Dan, about this wonderful circuit, you know, because you dazzled me with knowledge earlier on regarding this circuit, so why don't you dazzle everybody at home as well?
Well, the only knowledge that I've got at the moment in front of me, because I don't want to get anything wrong, is the fact that this year, so the last MX5 round that they did, the last MX5 Cup round that they did around here, the fastest lap time from an MX5 there, of course, with the renewed track and the banking, of course, was a 154.449. So at the moment, Pete Newman a little bit off of that, almost exactly a second. But yeah, of course, he does have to slow down more for corners like Hugo's. So,
right. Well, I'll tell you what, Dan. As we're here on board with Daniel Hunt, he's just about to start a lap. Why don't you take us on a guide around Circuit Zandvoort?
Well, coming down there now, the first straight, of course, and into Dazanbocht. The first corner on the track, a really tricky one because it tightens up on exit. There is camber in this corner, so you want to be on the inside. You want to follow the inside and almost touch the curb. Don't go too wide here because there is gravel on the outside. It's quite an old school circuit, this one. As we go into the Gerlachbocht now, turn 3 and 2 in 2, which will be Huguenots, of course. In real life, we know that this is now way more banked, so you can take way more speed through. But of course, this is the older version of this track. Now then, through Rob Slotemakers. This is a really interesting part of the track. This is fully flat in these cars. And we're coming up to the Schijfvlak now. This is turn 5 and turn 6. The Schijfvlak isn't flat, it isn't in an F1 car, it isn't in an MX5. It's quite a tricky one because it drops away from you on exit. Don't go too wide again. After the curb, there's not much more than only grass. Into turn 7 then. And also a tricky one. Like I said, it's an old school circuit, not a lot of runoff on the edges of the track. It's curb, and then after that it's grass or gravel, so you don't want to go out too wide. We've just had a turn number 8 and turn number 9 now, which will be Vodafone Bocht, which is, of course, as we all know, a phone brand. But all about that, of course, after this. But as we know, we're coming on to a straight now, and into which will be the stadium section here. Not as much grandstands as in real life here. Of course, this is the older version. But a really interesting part of the track, you want to maximize the exit here. So you want to offer up the entry to that chicane and get as good as an exit as you can into the last turn now. The last couple of turns, turn 12 and turn 13. And that's a little bit wide from Daniel Hunt. Does keep it though. That was the comeback. And now in to the Arie Luijendijk. Of course, we know that this one is easily flat now. Now it's banked. It's a little bit less confident here, but that was a lap around the beautiful circuit Zandvoort.
There you go, and Dan knows all the corner names, being in Holland himself and being Dutch. He will be able to tell you more. Me, I'm on the other hand, I'm going a little bit more of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way around to 14, where Dan will give you the bit more insider knowledge. David Ayres, good evening all. Good luck to the results, boys. Hope the repair bill will be less than last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy. I think it started kicking off round about like round 3 last week, when the guys did get themselves into a little bit of a tangle, shall we say. Puck, as always, thank you so much for joining me, and Daniel Nagal as well. Howdy, brother. Right, let's take a look at the current championship standings here. This is the overalls for this season. So in the AMS, currently Craig Jones is leading the way on 2,085 points. Darrell Wright on 2,027. Roger Morton on 2,007. Dale Benison on 1,844. Steve Hansford on 174. 14. Mick Barry on 1,716. Andy Littler on 1,706. Alan Tuna on 1,610. And Craig Crawford on 1,491. Now in the pros, currently, Steve Hefford is leading the way on 2,665. Jamie Ayres on 2,506. Pete Van Gool on 2,475. Daniel Hunt is up 2 on 2,320. Ralph Cullinan on 2,226. Pete Newman there from Pure Sims Esports on 2,199. Charles Kellerman on Optical Green, 2,104. Carl Jacklett from Optical Red on 2,053. Elise Main also from Optical Red on 1,978. Andy Maxwell, 1,789. Martin Sampson on 1,419. Darren McLean on 943. Carl Hardy on 921. And Ches Rizzo on 637. Now, in the overrules, okay, so this is the overall standings of the whole 3 seasons. Don't forget, it is a 3-season competition. So Pete Van Gool is leading the way currently from the overalls on 8,984. He did manage to hold on to his lead. He's been a little bit off the pace over the last few weeks, but it's still topping the time in tower. Jamie Ayres in second on 8,635. Pete Newman there in 3rd place. Steve Hefford is in 4th. It's really probably between them 4 for the championship, I would have thought, this season for the overalls. So we'll have to see how that one pans out this week and next week. Ralph Cullinan on 8,105. Charles Kellerman there on in 6th. Craig Jones in 7th. Andy Maxwell 8th. Elise Main 9th. Daniel Hunt in 10th. Darrell Wright in 11th. Steve Hansford 12th. Craig Crawford 13th. Carl Jacklett 14th. Andy Littler 15th. Alan Toon 16th. Mick Barry 17th. And Martin Sampson down in 18th place. Beyond that, we've got Roger Morton on, he's currently in 19th, Dale Benison in 20th, Roy Vivek in 21st, Jason Morris 22nd, Darren McLean 23rd, Ches Rizzo 24th, he's back this week, joins us on track, Will Currington 25, Mike Waltman and Carl Hardy 26 and 27 respectively. Now in the current team standings, this is this season's team standings. Team Momo are leading away on 9,226 and kind of running away with it, to be fair, from the results Clothing Eye Racing Team on 6,883. Optical Green in 3rd, Optical Red in 4th, Work Guide by Result in 5th, Safeguard by Result in 6th, DOF Reality in 7th, Pure Sims Esports in 8th, and Optical Blue in 9th place. Now in the overalls of the team standings, as you can see, Team Momo is leading the way. Not sure why you're getting them twice, just bear with me. All right, let's only give you one. Team Momo is leading the way. Just bear with, guys. I will reload the overlay because it's decided that it wants to show them twice to me. And we really just need the one. There we go. Team Momo is leading away on 29,622. Again, an absolute really kind of shoe-in for winning the team championships over the 3 seasons. Optical Green in second. Results Cloven iRacing team in third. Optical Red in fourth. Work Guard by result in fifth. Pure Sims Esports in sixth. Optical Blue in seventh. DOF Reality SimRacers Studios in eighth. And Safeguard by result in ninth place. So there we go, Dan. We have entered into qualifying. There was a lot of scores to run through because we're going through not only this season's but the overall as well. 15 minutes of quali. What do we think? What are we expecting from this week's race, Dan? Because Zandvoort's a tricky circuit in general, and these guys have got to be careful. The new damage model this season has caused a massive, massive part in the racing, hasn't it? And now we've really got to sit back and think, right, coming into the 2 rounds, surely it's got to be about getting the victories or finishing the 4 races to get points.
Well, like you said, it's you got to rack up those points. This is one of the last 3 races. Of course, we go to Road Atlanta and Knockhill, if I'm correct, after this one. So you have to finish. Pete van Gool still in a demanding lead, 300 points, I think, almost over Jamie Ayres. Jamie Ayres himself, of course, wasn't there last week, I think, because of COVID, if I'm correct. So he lost a couple of points there, so it's going to be tough for him to catch up. It's going to be tough for anyone, really, to catch up the man that we see 4th in this group, Pete van Gool, with the white mirrors and fists on the front of that card. Steve Heffert, the one we're looking at. This is Pete van Gool, like I said. He's looking mighty in the overall championship. 300 points ahead of anyone. So yeah, going to be difficult for anyone really, James, to catch up to this man.
Well, the thing is, yeah, that's what I mean. If I could sit back and say Pete's had a stellar last few weeks, I would. But he hasn't. He's been off the boil for the last few weeks, and he knows that. And it's not like I'm saying anything detrimental to him, because he knows full well that he's not been quite at the races. He's had a very up and down racing. You know, he didn't really get anywhere kind of sort of momentous last week. You know, and it was just a very kind of. You know, he had a third. He had a third in race 1, but other than that, we didn't really see much of him.
I think a meh is the best way to describe it, indeed. And you know, the thing is, I think he took his foot off the gas a little after he saw the points lead, of course, that he had, and he had the room to do so. He had the room to take a little bit less risk. But as you can see with the last couple of races, not taking as much risk in these races is gonna show you down the order. Because you almost have to take, James, maximum risk for maximum reward, because that's what all these other guys are doing.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They're all going for it. You know, I spoke to Steve during the week. Now, Steve doesn't know if he's going to be able to complete the season, right? He's currently got to be looking at going. He's got to go in for an operation. It's not going to be good. He doesn't know if he's going to be able to drive. He's hoping to be able to complete as much of this season as he can. So he's here this week. He might be here next week. It's just all a little bit up in the air at the moment. It's a little bit iggly-piggly with Steve, right? And he's trying to turn around and get as many points as possible. But at the same time, he's got to drive sensibly at the same time to try and make sure he maximizes the points he gets.
Well, you know more than me, James, because I didn't know that Steve had to undergo an operation.
Yeah, he's got a bad back. So, said on the 25th, I believe it's around about the 25th of November.
Oh, then he won't be able to do the last race, I think.
I think it's the last race. He's got to get it wrapped up before the last race, I think.
Yeah.
For this season. Now,
how close it is, that's looking difficult.
Well, that's the thing. He's got to drive for the win, but he's got to drive to try and score points. You know, we can see the times coming in on the board at the moment. Daniel Hunt top of the time tower, 1:55.8. Pete van Gool in second. Ches Rizzo in third there. So there is some good times. It's good to see Ches back. I think, you know, me and I love having a chat with Ches. He's an absolutely amazing man. And I do love seeing him when he races because he does go full bore all the time. And hopefully he will join us this evening as well because it is a quality conversation. If you haven't listened to any of the interviews here, guys, as well, we do have Steve Heffer generally comes in, Ches Rizzo as well, and then the results boys of Ralph Cullinan and Craig Jones. Now, I wouldn't mind, they're two individual people, but you put them in the booth together to interview them as both as one, and well, for about 15 minutes I'll just sit here laughing, because they're just unbelievable individuals to talk to, aren't they, Dan, really?
I think we've seen that every time they join the commentary booth, and I think we also say that every time, because it is just the case. If they enter the commentary booth, the vibe just changes in the commentary booth from serious to less serious, but very funny.
Yeah, exactly. We just see Ches Rizzo there, put it on pole on a 155.457. Of course, he's got the tow from Jamie Ayres, who's doing his normal Tokyo drifting of that MX5, but currently going round turn 3 before they go on this run over to 4 and through 5. And I think that's going to be one of the things this evening they've got to look out for, is that overcooking of the tyres down on the first couple of laps. We've seen it play a little bit of havoc before, but we have seen a few conservative race ones, haven't we? But generally by about race 3, that all goes out the window.
Well, last week it was in race 2 already the case. So last week they got confident really quickly. That might also be something to do with the track. We don't know. But yeah, usually race 1 is the race where they're all still trying to find their groove, trying to find the most amount of grip, trying to find the real racing limit of the car, because of course the limit changes from qualifying to the race. So you want to be on that edge, or you want to be on the limit almost every second of those 15 minutes. And I think by race 3 or 4, maybe race 2, they have found that limit and they can really start to push. Of course, some drivers it takes longer, some drivers find that limit quicker. There's also a limit in the driver himself. What is he confident in pushing the car? Of course, that's also a big part. We both know that, James. It's not only the car, which we have to look for. Also, the driver has a maximum limit of where he wants to push the car to, of course. The driver has a confidence limit, and if you go over that confidence limit, you start to find your new limit, but some drivers don't really want to go over that limit as well.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit more conservative when it comes to racing. I think that's probably why I'm up in the booth more. Conway Critty, got you a few more votes, James. Keep up the great work, mate. Thank you very much, buddy. That's amazing. Who are you in real life? Because obviously I only know a lot of real life names. I do get a little bit confused when people jump into the YouTube chat and they've got their YouTube name and I have no idea who they are. So I do like to thank them personally. So, you know, just let me know who you are generally in real life. That would be amazing. Now, last time out in Sonoma, there was some absolutely epic racing down, and I think me and you can both agree that, you know, what they're managing to achieve in this league is something that you don't see all the time, do you? You know, the racing is close, it's fair, there's never anything deliberate. The mistakes, if there's mistakes, they apologize. If, you know, they do all, they kind of epiphanize what a league should be, I think.
You know what it is with this league, James, and I think this is also not the first time we talk about this. And that's just how great it is, because every time we point on it again, and again, Pete Newman, though, has gone into pole position with a 155.417. Pips Rizzo by 400th of a second. But the thing is, of course, fair, it's always fair. And do you know, James, if there is a report form to report any incidents? Because I don't think there is. I have a feeling it's just, they talk about it and it's done.
Yeah, and then the stewards will decide, but other than that, there's not many as well. James Rep from LSRL. Thank you, buddy. That's absolutely amazing for you to jump in and tell me that as well. That's absolutely incredible. If you are wondering what James is on about, basically we had the nomination phase of the VCO Simi Awards, which basically is almost like the Oscars of the sim racing world, where you can vote for various categories within the VCO Simis. So some of the categories that you can vote for are Best Esports Racer. You've also got as well, I'm trying to find the information really quickly, bear with me. So you've got Best Esports Racer, Best Oval Racer, Best Team, Best Car, Best Event, Best Social Media, Best Livery, Best Commentary, Best Photography, Best Video Content, and the Hall of Famer. Now, what they've done is basically the voting stage has finished for the nominations. Now, from there, they cut out everybody, cut the field down to the top 5. Well, this morning, in my absolute disbelief, I actually found out that I was nominated into the top 5. So this is the final phase. 50% of the votes are done by the public. The other 50% of the votes are done by the judges of the VCO Simis. So that's you know, a massive thing to take into consideration as well. But it's the fact that I'm there. It's the fact that, as Dan put it earlier on, I'm top 5 commentators within sim racing in the world, and I think that's just absolutely massive. So regardless, to be honest, if I win or lose, I've had the pleasure of being there, and basically it's really down to, as I say, the public voting, which every Discord that I've been in, every race that I've done, UkSimracers, the Radical Sim Racing world as well, TSRC, Radical Race Series, LSRL, Sunday Drive Racing League. They've all been absolutely massive. They've all voted and have been crazily supportive of my journey within the VCO Simis. So they will be announced on Boxing Day. I will tweet out the link or Instagram the link out for the live broadcast. So at the moment in time, the voting now closes on the 28th of November. And other than that, it's out of my hands. So that's what James is going on about. So if you see a link up in chat for the VCO Simis, you can go and vote on there on the website. And there is other categories that you can vote on as well. So, you know, please give everybody a vote because they are there through merit. And it's absolutely incredible that we've all made it into there. So there we go. Dan.
Phew. Breathe, James.
It's a lot to take in, mate. I tell you what, this morning I was, yeah, blown away. Absolutely blown away.
You can definitely hear that you're very excited about it. And you can go off the riddle, oh yeah, when I was young, this and that. But let's be honest, James. At the start of this, who would have thought that within, what is it, a year and a half?
Yeah, a year and a half, about 18 months. Yeah,
you would be there. That I think no one would have thought that. And yeah, to be there, I think you can say that it's almost just already being part of those that top 5 is I think, yeah. Yeah, all the dedication and work that has gone into it it just tells you that it wasn't for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, from everybody, Colin as well, welcome in. Colin Props, thank you so much for joining me. Anthony Jacobson as well, well done you, thank you so much. David Ayres, well done sir, much appreciated. And Ivan Bramer, great going as well, thank you so much. You know I love every single body, and if I do come out and win the overall, well, they better be prepared for a 15-minute thank you speech, because trust me, there are so many people I want to thank that have been a part of my journey within commentary. From the very first people I started with, Umberto Napolini and Roberto Medina.
Am I one of them?
Yeah, I'll put you in there, Dan, as well. Just a little snippet. So Ivan knows Roberto Medina and Umberto Napolini. They were the first guys that I'd raced with within what was the FPL, which is now the Radical Sim Racing. And it was their videos that started me off. And it's weird because I found the very first one the other day on their YouTube channel, and I didn't actually realise how bad I sounded. I sounded like I was actually sat in the toilet. And it was just echoey all over the place.
You have to start somewhere, you know?
I know, mate. I found a cheap overlay. I think I was using the Race Labs overlay at the time. Didn't really have a clue what I was doing, and then it's just kind of grown from there to where we are at the moment to be nominated within the top 5, as Dan puts it, of the world. which
Yeah, of course.
absolutely freaks me out. But grid is up, Dan. Off you go for one of your normal weekly speed reading.
There we go. If you want to curse the speed reading, hit me up on Discord because you're going to see how quickly I read. Pete Newman in P1, Jess Rizzo in P2, Danny Hunt P3, Pete Van Gool P4, Jamie Ayres P5, Steve Hefford P6, Elise Main P7, Charles Kellerman P8, Cole Hardy P9, Craig Jones P10, Ralph Cullen in P11, Steve Hansford in P12, P13, Andy Maxwell, 14, Roger Morton, 15, Mick Barry, Darrell Wright, 16, Del Bennett, 17, 18, Andy Littler, Sir Alan Toon in 19, and 20th, Carl Jacqueline.
There you go. And he'd done it before they all got onto the grid as well. So well done. Props to Dan, everybody. Well done, Dan. You've done it before they even got onto the grid. So, yeah, much love for everybody joining us this evening. If you've never seen his league before, please stay, because you're not going to be disappointed at any of the racing that's going to happen here this evening. And I think Dan himself has even been impressed really joining in this full season as well. But don't forget, guys, as well, you can subscribe, give the videos a big old thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on the bells for notifications, because we have got some epic racing coming up for you this week, as always. So, Dan, race one, who's your prediction really quickly?
Danny Hunt P1, Newman P2, Rizzo P3.
Rizzo P1, Van Gool P2, Hefford P3. Actually, I need to write that down. What did I say? Rizzo,
Van Gool, Hefford.
Rizzo, PVG, Hefford. And who have you got, Dan?
Hunt, Newman, Rizzo.
Hunt,
there we go.
New, Riz. Right, here we go, guys. Lights are out. 5 lights are on. And we are green, green, green here from Circuit Zandvoort this evening. And these guys go rushing down into turn 1. We've got Pete Newman, Ches Rizzo, and Daniel Hunt. 1, 2, 3 currently with PVG in 4th, Jamie Ayres 5th, and Steve Hefford in 6th. As they all go round turn 1. Charles Kellerman makes it round as well, does Roger Morton. On the outside there, that is Cole Hardy taking a little bit of a dive. He's going to come back into track, Dan. He's going to come back. Oh, everybody missed him.
Stays out of harm's way, luckily, but that is... Well, I think he was on the grass and he tried to keep the gas in, but it didn't work there that time round. You normally could do that, but it doesn't work that time round. Pete Newman, though, got a good start. Adam first. Hunt still in 3rd. Rizzo in 2nd. Although pressurizing Rizzo is Danny Hunt. Rizzo into Schijfvlak we go, and trying to overtake Newman into Schijfvlak. Schijfvlak isn't really opportunity to try and overtake, because it is quite a high-speed corner. But I think, James, so far so good, apart from, I think, Cole Hardy.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody else has raced it round here as well. How often do they race? They race once a week, every Tuesday. We've got this round, then we were in round 10, then we go to round 11, and then round 12. So we've currently got remaining here this season as well. We've got Road America. Dan?
Yes, I can confirm that. Road America and...
Road America Knockhill. Yeah, Road America Knockhill. That's what it was as well. So Pete Newman,
Road Atlanta.
Road Atlanta and Knockhill, yeah. Pete Newman in 3rd, Daniel Hunt in 2nd, Ches Rizzo 3rd, Pete Van Gool in 4th, Steve Hefford there in 5th place currently. Little pockets of battles developing here as well. In the mix is Charles Kellerman. He's got Craig Jones right behind him. Craig in the red and white of the Results Clothing iRacing team. Number 32 with the yellow wheels. He has got his teammate Ralph Cullinan right behind him. As Craig does say, look at the am. Beating the pros. So much love for Craig Jones there, but PVG has made his way past Ches Rizzo and is now chasing down Daniel Hunt. It's going to be a tight one, down. We've got 12 minutes left on the clock at the moment, and these guys are going at each other so early on.
Well, let's just say I didn't expect Rizzo to drop down that as far as he has right now. Of course, losing a little bit of momentum in the battle with Daniel Hunt, and now immediately, of course, Pete Van Gool came past him. Rizzo a little bit wide again, and it's not helping him really to try and stay close to Pete Van Gool. Pete Van Gool, though, we know that maybe now with 3 races to go and that gap being 300 points, is going to take a little more risk, because he does want to round that off maybe as quick as he can to just be safe about that championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's got to try and do his job here. And I think it's going to be tough for Ches Rizzo, because I think from his point of view, he's really got to kind of battle away, but not do what he's doing at the moment with Steve Hefford. And I think that's going to be one of the things that these guys have got to look out for. We're just waiting for the overlay to reload. It has just kind of froze on me at the moment, but hopefully it is back up and running now. Ches Rizzo on the right-hand side, still in fourth place, battling away with Steve Hefford. Hefford coming down now into turn 11. He's got the inside line. Steve Hefford, car number 72. He takes it. They're going to be running toe wide round 12. Hefford chops the nose of Ches, but Ches comes back and says, no, I've still got it. I'm Italian. It's still there. And Hefford again comes back on the outside and takes him out and chops the nose off him again. Turn 13 and then goes over the grass. This is going to be Ches's run down into turn 1, Dan.
Well, turn 1, you can get quite a slingshot out of course, the Iron Lion Lake. And he has the run, though, but can he get alongside him? That's the question. Of course, he does want to move to the inside of Tarzan. Can he maybe dive down the inside? Not quite. Rizzo has to stick behind. And I think Hefford has that move done now. He's going to be looking with his eyes front to Pete Van Gool and try and close the gap. That gap now already up to 1.8 seconds, so it's going to be a tough job for him.
Yeah, he is. I think it's going to be a tough one to try and catch cars in front. You can see PVG just going round in front of us at the moment. Answer to your question, no. Phil, it does not. It will run along the iRacing season. Carl and I normally race TCRs in the Backfire SimSport TV League, which might be why he kept the power on, force about it. Yeah, maybe TCRs, if they're iRacing front-wheel drive, you can prevent them, or at least try and save them as best you can here within iRacing. But obviously Pete Newman and Daniel Hunt, however, battling it away as they're on that run down into that tricky turn 9. Long left-hander, but you've got to take a very wide entry in.
Look, James, it's a really tricky one because there are different lines possible. It's not one line that is quick through there. Of course, if you ask, of course, all the very smart people, they will find the fastest way through there, but it's going to be in milliseconds, which, you know, it's not going to be too much, but there are a couple of different lines possible through there, which is a wider line and cut in very late and take the apex very late, or it could take an early apex and let the car roll out to the outside of the track on exit.
Yeah, there we go. Dan's full insight here into Zandvoort. We've got Daniel Hunt now chasing down Pete Newman. He's trying his absolute hardest here to catch up with the Pure Sims 118. Here we go again. Closing. Pete's taking the inside line. Are we going to send it round the outside? We're going to have a go into turn 1. I don't know if this is necessarily going to work because these guys will need to be thinking of each other. Jamie Ayres and Ches Rizzo are nose to tail as well, as is Roger Morton and Ralph Cullingham. The interesting thing here, though, is Craig Jones is still not cleared Charles Kellerman, and from Craig's pace this season, I thought he might have already had that done.
It's difficult, you know. There aren't a lot of very great overtaking opportunities, as we know here, James. The best, of course, running into turn 1, the Tarzan bocht. Skyvlak isn't really one. You have a long straight leading up to it, but it isn't really a hard braking zone. You kind of let the car roll through there. And then, of course, you have the braking zone into the chicane. But, yeah, not really a long straight leading up to that. Not really a good slingshot out of that corner, that left-hander, of course. So, yeah, the only really good overtaking opportunity here, I think, is turn 1, the Tarzan bocht. So, there's going to be, I think, the main overtaking spot this evening.
Yeah, as we can see here now, Daniel Hunt and Pete Newman on that rundown from turn 10 on the rundown into turn 11. So here we go. Let's see how they do here. Daniel Hunt's looking to go in at the inside of turn 11. We were just talking about turn 1, Dan, and there is Daniel Hunt doing something completely unusual. And Hunt now is trying to battle out of Newman as they're on that run down into 13 and 14. Let's see how this one pans out. You can see in the background, Ayres and Rizzo are literally nose to tail. I don't think there is going to be hardly anything between them. Ches Rizzo climbing all over the back of Jamie Ayres here, and let's see how this one does as this one materializes now as we're going up right behind Ches, on the nose of Ches with Jamie Ayres. We're getting closer and closer to 46. We're not No, we're just not that. We're not making that aggressive move that we would see normally, I think, there.
Not quite. I do think that later into the race or later into the evening, there are going to be, well, a little bit more aggressive into turn one, because that is, the drivers themselves are going to find it really annoying to be stuck behind the driver. I think Daniel Hunt might have had a chance to dive down the inside of Pete Newman. That gap went down to almost half a tenth.
Oh.
Here we go then through the Rob Slotemakersbocht, excuse me. The skyblock on the outside. That's not a place to be, because the car's going to run out wide there, as you can see. Not a great place to be, and he doesn't do it. He thinks the better of it, and I think that's the better decision there that Daniel Hunt made there.
Well, you want to tell Daniel Hunt he made a good decision about not overtaking Pete Newman. That is a completely different story, and that'll be one that you can do completely on your own there, Dan. As he comes around turn 10. I'm not getting involved with that one, Dan. You want to have a go at telling Dan he did a good job not overtaking him? Well, yeah, that's up to you. But I think Daniel Hunt may have just been disagreeing with you there as well, as he's trying now so hard, climbing all over Newman, coming down into turn 11 we go. We're going to go right, and then we're going to go left. There's the right hand side. Here comes the left, and this is where Daniel Hunt's going to want to try and stick right with him, Dan, before he heads off around the last few 13 and 14 and down the start finish straight.
Kom bocht aan Arie Luijendijk.
That's the
Well
one.
then, he's going to try and get a slingshot. Pete Newman is wide. This is going to be his opportunity. Out of Arie Luijendijk, he's going to get a good run. Maybe try the outside already. He wants to leave the inside open, of course, for himself. Wants to tuck into that slipstream now. He has the run. The gap is down to half a tenth. This is going to be the one opportunity that Danny Hunt wants around the outside of turn one. Can he make it stick though? There's room on the inside for Pete Newman to keep his car in there. The outside though, you can run it in the Tarzan box. Now the inside for the Gerlach. Can he keep it stick there? Yes, he can. Now into Huguenot's turn 4. The inside, of course, favored on the new track, but here no camber. So the inside still the quicker line, but you can run the outside. They're still side by side, James. Going through Ron Slotemakers and into Schijfvlak.
Yeah, they've been side by side for literally half of the track already, and here we go. Can Daniel Hunt make his move through as these guys are battling now around turn 7? They're still side by side. Is Daniel Hunt got a chance? The outside. Oh, he's dropping back a little bit. Newman's got it. I think it's going to... Hunt's coming back at him, though. He's on the outside again. Hunt in the DOF at SimRacers Studios 07 car. Newman Pure Sims at 118 in the blue-white with the yellow wing mirrors there. Hunt is now trying to switch back. PVG is also trying to get involved as well. But this is what this battle is turning out to be with Hunt, PVG, and the ever-looming Hefford behind him as well. He's only a second back, mind you. There he is in the background in the red with the yellow roll bars there. Dan can get himself involved, but Daniel Hunt now looking at trying to go up the inside of 11, thinks better of it, pokes his nose out, comes back again. Wow, that was just an incredible quarter of a lap.
Well, I don't know really what to say. They were side by side for more than half of the track there. And Daniel Hunt, well, it was his one opportunity, but I think choosing the outside there wasn't really the way to go. He braked earlier, I think, than Pete Newman into turn 1 as well, which cost him, of course, that inside is going to get a good run out of Arie Luijendijk again. So again, he's going to go for the outside. This might be the run, though. Piet van Gool looking up the inside of Pete Newman as well. They're still side by side. It's the same going to be happening into Tarzan. He's going to get a good run on the outside. He's going to push him wide, though. But he can just keep his nose in, and where is this going to end? Because at some point,
they're going to make contact, right? I think, regardless of how... Oh, there it is! There it is! Oh, Daniel Hunt is off. Yep, as we mentioned it, Dan, and that was at the end of it. But look who's come through, the silent assassin, the thief himself. You leave your door, he'll steal your jewelry. Piet van Gool has taken P1 away from Pete Newman, and more importantly for Steve Hefford, he is in second place now. Unbelievable. None of us have got this order. So PVG coming round what will be the final lap. Not this one, we're going to have this one and one more. Then it's going to be all done and dusted. It had to come that way, didn't it, Dan? They were just two side by side.
Oh,
BBG's
that
up!
was Piet van Gool off.
He's up!
Piet van
Chance
Gool off. In the Vodafone bocht. And well, where is he going to go now? He's going to wait for the whole pack to get by. He can reverse now, but he's going to make his way. He's going to have to be gone there because the cars are coming through now. But
yeah,
that was a big mistake from our race leader. Got given that race lead basically by Pete Newman. And of course, who was it? Pete Newman.
Daniel Hunt.
And Daniel Hunt crashing. So, but a spilled opportunity there for Piet van Gool. And I think that's just the luck Piet van Gool also has had. But I think Carl Jacqueline coming, I think, from P20, was it on the grid?
Yeah, he's up 12 places. Final lap of the race. Barney's waving. Steve Efford and Pete Newman. Newman's going to try and do what Hunt did to him, running around the outside. Efford's covering up that inside line in the Momo MX5 with the yellow roll bar. Newman in the blue and white Pure Sims. Oh, it's contact again. Oh, Steve Efford to the nose of Pete Newman. Faster than a plastic surgeon on Madonna, I'll tell you that much. And it was nearly bye-bye. See you later, Newman. You are going to be going off, but they made contact. Efford got a little bit out of shape, and it was unbelievable. Here we go again. Newman's not giving up now on this run. Around turn 7 he's go. He wants that inside line. Efford's going to cut him off. He's not up beside him currently in the moment as we're going running around into turn 8, Dan. Oh, this is going to be a spicy few laps left.
The last and best opportunity now, I think, for Pete Newman is going to be into the Audi S to turn 11. He has to get a good run now, maybe the switchback though. This is the opportunity for Pete Newman. Can he still do it? He of course lost that lead in the crash with Daniel Hunt now, the cutback. And I think a little bit too much oversteer there for Pete Newman. And I think that his opportunity splundered there for Pete Newman. Steve Hefford, I think if nothing crazy happens, has us in the back now because it's only the Audi S's to go. Then we have to turn 14, 15, and then the run, of course, down to the line. And I don't think there's enough run down to the line in order for Pete Newman to get up alongside and overtake.
Well, you say that, but Efford did lose it last time in the last corner in Sonoma. So be aware, Dan, never say never as we're going to be running down to the line now. These two absolute mighty gladiators. Oh, here we go. The line is halfway down. Efford's taking the inside, trying to block him off. They're going to go across the line. Oh, 0.02.
Oh my goodness. What did I say?
2,000th of a second for Pete Newman and Steve Hefford. And there's action still going on. Roger Morton as well was in 7th. Carl Jackley 8th. Oh, look at this. Here comes Elise Bain across the line in 12th place. Hanson 13th. Wright and Dale Benison coming over as well. So...
Wow, James. I said, James, Pete Newman doesn't have enough room. Look at this guy, Carl Hardy. This is for P8. This is for P17. Sir Alan Toon and Carl Hardy.
Oh,
and that
hello.
is, of course, how that is how you round the race off properly, of course. But I said Pete Newman doesn't have enough room or doesn't have enough run down to the line in order to slipstream him and get alongside him. So I have to apologize there to Steve Hefford, but what a race that was. I think there wasn't one moment, I think, James, where we were like, okay, it's settling for a second now because there were battles all across the field and a little bit wide for Steve Hefford. I think that's what did it.
Look
Otherwise,
at this.
nothing would have happened.
Once the checkered flag is just there, they were literally like a hair's breadth away from each other. Unbelievable racing here, and wow. Wow. Pete Newman taking the victory. We are just waiting for the results to come up. Here it's for me to be able to bring them to you. Steve Hefford in 2nd place. Whew. Jamie Ayres in 3rd. So the results are up now. Here we go from Heat 1.
There we go.
Well, Dan, do you want to take your time with this one?
Well, it'll be nice for once to take my time and not have to speed read it. Well then, ladies and gents, I think we didn't miss it. because the run down to the line was amazing. Pete Newman pips Steve Hefford by 0.02 of a second to the line. What a finish that was. Jamie Ayres in the end finishes on the last spot of the podium ahead of our AM winner, Greg Jones, who is 4th overall. And of course, our AM winner, like I said, Charles Kellyman in P5, P6 for Rolf Cullinan. A good fight between those two, and 0.2 only between the man in P2 in the AM class, Roger Morton, and Ralph Cullinan. So Roger Morton 7th overall and 2nd in the AM class. Carl Jacklett, a good comeback from him from P20 on the grid up to P8. So like I said, some luck this time round, James, for Carl Jacklett. Cesar Rizzo in P9, P10 for Andy Maxwell. And then our third man, or our third finisher in the AM class, Mick Barry. So a good result for Mick Barry there as well. 3rd in the AM class, 11th overall. Elise Main, the Lioness in P12. Steve Hansford in P13. 14th, Darrell Wright. 15th, Dale Bennison. Only 4.10s between those two. Andy Littler in 16th. And then Sir Alan Toon and Carl Hardy that run down to the line. 61 thousandths of a second between those two.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. And we're going to be joined by the man that gained 12 places, had a barnstorming race 1. That is Carl Jacklett. Carl, welcome into the booth, young sir.
Evening. Yeah, that was a race, wasn't it?
It was a bit, mate, wasn't it?
I blocked it on my outlap in qualifying and sat in the pits for most of qualifying. Tried to get a lap in at the end, but just ran out of time. So I had it all to do. Made a great start, 3 cars into turn 1. And a bit of a scary moment when one of the yellow cars spun across the track, but I got through the
Carl
gap.
Hardy, yeah.
And it was great. Yeah. That was Carl, was it?
Yeah, Carl Hardy unfortunately went onto the grass. It looked like he hit the power too quickly and just carried on and hit the barrier and then come across the track, unfortunately. But that was...
There wasn't much space, was there?
No, mate, we saw it on the replay. There was hardly anything between anyone to squeeze through. And I tell you what, mate, you did a stellar job. And do you know what, Carl? I've got to sit here, right? After watching the last few weeks, it's been a little bit rough, innit? Let's be honest with ourselves. You've had a bit of a rough few weeks, right? To see you now come through the field, 12 places gained, up into 8th, it kind of makes me sit there like a proud father and like, go on, Carl, you did it. You know what I mean? It has been rough for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it was tough. I didn't even get an incursion on that race, so it was penalty free as well. So I pick up some bonus points for that. So yeah, that was really good, really good. Starting to get the hang of my new wheel. So yeah, things are looking up.
Well, look. Carry it on into race 2, right? You got top 13 in Burt, so I think you're starting like in 5th, right? Show that consistency, show that pace. When you come across the line in 1st, you will make me extremely happy, and I will get to stand up and say, Carl Jacklett, the winner of race 2, because you're going to keep it clean, aren't you?
I'm going to try. Always try.
We love a trier in the booth here for JBB. But Carl, thank you so much for joining me as always, and good luck in race 2, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Right, we've also got Steve Hefford in the booth as always. Steve finished in 2nd place, believe it or not, and literally lost P1 by 0.006. So,
and to make matters worse, he'd had me down as the winner for 10, 15 seconds after the race. I thought, and then it swapped us around. So
yeah, 0.006. Now, I reckon, Steve, right? It must have been birthdays and Christmases all rolled in one. You know, we've had a chat this week. You know, we're expecting you not to be here towards the end of the season for the last race, right? So we said you need to go out and you need to wrap it up before the next round, okay? You come up, you got your birthdays and Christmases, didn't you? Because you then took 1st place.
It would have been birthday and Christmas if it had been the lap before when I came over the finish line in 1st place at the beginning of the last lap. So I think that was just Christmas, no birthdays.
Well, all right. Well, we'll say no birthdays. But look, overall, dude, a stunning result. second place. Is it a bit of pill to swallow, knowing that you've lost it by so little?
No, not at all. To be honest, when you're having racing as good as this is, it's not. It's about the racing more than the position you finish in. I don't mind as long as I'm having a good battle with people, and I'm happy.
Well, you were certainly having an absolute barnstorming battle with Pete Newman. I've got to be honest, it was absolutely incredible. But loved every minute of it. Now, 13 reverse, you're going out in 12th. We talk about this most weeks, I think, with that reverse grid, isn't it? And what is your mindset knowing that you're going to miss the last race?
I might miss. Well, I've just got a letter through today saying I've got a pre-op next week on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. So this might be my last week now. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to pan out.
So all right. So what's the plan? Race 2, get as many points as possible, keep it on track.
Yeah, this one of my favourite tracks. I love this track, and I've usually got a decent pace. There's loads of passing places. It's a technical track, so there's lots of different lines and things you can do. So it is difficult to keep out of trouble as well. You can get. There's walls not far off the edge of the track, so any accidents can block tracks and things. So staying clean is the priority, and just see how it unfolds after the first couple of laps.
Well, look, I'm wishing you luck in the booth, mate. I want you to wrap it up this week because so far ahead they can't catch you over 2 rounds. That would be absolutely amazing for you because you've had a really good season, and it's just unfortunate how it's going to end. But look, good luck in race 2. Go out there, be consistent, give us the Steve Hefford performance that we're used to, and I'm sure I might turn around and say Steve Hefford, the winner of race 2.
Well, you never know.
You never know. Cheers, buddy, as always, for jumping in.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you.
Care. Right, so there we go. That was Steve Hefford and Carl Jacklin, right? Okay. Colin Props, this commentary is amazing. I was supposed to stay for just like 5 minutes, and now 20. Well, the racing does kind of it makes it kind of easier for us to do what we're here to do and bring you the best action, because that's what we're primarily here to do. Now, there is a 10-minute warm-up if you're wondering why we're not following cars around the track, because they are just warming up. So that's where we do the interviews from. So their racing allows us to bring you the best commentary that we can. And with myself and Dan, we've been here for the whole season now, and we will complete the season. So, we do know a lot about these drivers and not a lot about the cars, how they've been doing all season. And it's a shame for Steve Hefford, Dan. He's been twice, 8 podiums, 7 podiums in a row. He's just been that Mr. Consistent person solidly. And to hear that he's going to miss the last 2 rounds is so tough to swallow.
Yeah, well, first of all, I know Colin. He's usually giving me grief about everything I do. Says that I'm bad at everything I do. Of course, as a joke. But yeah, I just messaged him and he was like, "Okay, I didn't expect this. I knew you did this, but I didn't know it was kind of this professional." So yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, well. The thing that I found interesting about Steve Hefford's talk is that he's had plenty of overtaking opportunities. And I'm going to disagree with that, James, because the only real overtaking opportunity you have is turn 1. And if you want any other overtaking opportunities, you have to be alongside from turn 1 on.
Let me establish something, Dan. You're arguing with somebody who's the leader of the championship, had a record amount of podiums in one go, and races solidly every single week in an MX5 with an I rating of about 5,015K, and you want to tell him he's incorrect?
Yes, because this is my home track.
I'll tell you what, brave man. We're coming to the end of warm-up.
So if there's one track which I know my stuff about, it's this one.
You carry on, buddy. I'm not going to get involved with that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you want to be that brave? Go ahead. You know what I mean? All right, guys, the grid will be up now for race 2. I will bring you the grid. Dan did the last one, and he sped it like an absolute trooper. Steve Hansford is in Yeah, Steve Hansford in first, Elise Main second, Mick Barry third, Andy Maxwell fourth, Ches Rizzo fifth, Carl Jackalett sixth, Roger Morton seventh, Rob Cullinan eighth, Charles Kellerman ninth, Craig Jones 10th, Jamie Ayres 11th, Steve Hefford is down in 12th place, Pete Newman 13th, Darrell Wright 14th, Dal Benison 15th, Andy Lichter 16th, Alan 2 17th, Carl Hardy 18th, BVG 19th, Daniel Hunt 20th. Job done. Race is about to start. Much love to you. Here we go. Steve Hansford on pole. And lights are on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And away we go for race 2. And it's Steve Hansford has been overtaken by Elise Main here on this run down into turn 1. Lisa on the left. Car number 66. Mick Barry behind him. 675. There's contact with Ches Rizzo and Andy Maxwell. Carl Jackalett is trying to keep his nose out of trouble at the same time because that's what he kind of wants to achieve as these guys all go round turn 1. Look at that. They're almost free wide. Free wide through the section before they go into turn 3 there, Dan. That can't last, surely.
Well, it can't last into the Kellogg, but it can last, though, into Hugenholz. Of course, that's a corner where you can go 3 wide through, but it won't be good for your exit out of the corner, though, which I think now in the middle, Carl Jackalett is paying the price for a little bit because he did have a little bit of a bad exit. That's a big snap, Carl Jackalett around! And the whole field
going to be a car park.
to it. And the big crash. A big crash. The only one getting through there is Daniel. Look at this. Cars going off left, right, and center.
Pete Newman's on the roof.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
It is all kicked off in race 2.
Oh.
And look who's come through to lead this race. The Lioness, Elise Main, Rizzo behind her, and Mick Barry in P3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars of a field of 20 are currently in the piss. 8. Oh, boys. We're just talking about it in interviews, Dan, of keeping it clean. And there they go and do an 8-car pile-up.
Well, Ralph Cullinan got through it cleanly. Carl Hardy did. Jamie Ayres, though, with a little bit of a... He is, I think, the only one from that car park to continue. 9.7 seconds back. So I guess that something has happened with him. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was a big crash. Hansford, Maxwell, and Morton, the only one within a second of each other at the moment, it looks like. And it's getting close now. Hansford, though, trying to overtake Mick Barry ahead of him. Can he try and keep that close? Mick Barry, though, will want to keep that podium overall in the lead in the AM class.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, we'll have a look back at that in a minute. I need to try and find the beginning of where it all started. It started with...
Carl
Jackalett, didn't it? So
yeah, really Carl Jackalett had a snap.
Need to find Carl Jackalett, really. So there we go. You call it for a minute there, Dan. Ches Rizzo is climbing up to the back of Elise Main currently.
Well, we saw Ches Rizzo at the start of last race was really quick, dropped down quite early because he lost some momentum. But after that, came back through the field, and now Elise Main, the Lioness, up front of the field. What can Ches Rizzo do about that? Ches Rizzo, I think it is. What can he do about Elise Main being at the front? Of course, Elise knows how to win races. Elise knows how to keep her lead, and she knows how to defend. But it's going to be difficult. Ches Rizzo is a really quick driver. That's a little bit too tight there, a little bit too quick on entry, maybe into the Audi S from Elise Main. Does lose a couple of tenths, and look at that behind. The group of 5 catching up. Danny Hunt in the back of that group. He's trying to overtake Roger Morton, and he is actually the one who got through very cleanly through that car park. He is up 13 positions, so he came from P20 and is now all the way up in 7. And I think here we have it. Carl Jackalett, look at this then.
There he starts, doesn't he, there? The lead at the moment. Bear with me while OBS has a bit of a funny moment. But, you know, I don't really know what to say, Dan. That was just insane.
Well, while we were looking at that, though, I don't know if you have a replay of it, but Rizzo has got past Elise Main. So Elise Main, the Lioness, not leading the race anymore. Sticking in the slipstream, though, of Rizzo, and this is exactly how it happened. Like I said, down to turn 1, the Tarzan Bocht. That is the place where it has to happen for these drivers. Into turn 1, the inside, Elise Main not fighting it too much. Allows Rizzo the inside, and that's how that pass happened. Rizzo now going to try and create that gap down to the Lioness and his Main. But look at this battle. Danny Hunt overtook Hansford and Morton already. And now up ahead of him is Andy Maxwell and Mick Barry. Mick Barry, though, still, James, keeping in third overall and in the lead of the AM class.
Yeah, Mick is absolutely doing a stellar job as these guys come down into turn 11. Steve Hansford behind him there as well. Andy Maxwell. Don't forget, he is a pro driver, so whatever he's got to do on track, he's got to do it on track. There is no entitlement for Mick Barry to move over. There's no need for Mick Barry to move over. Mick took the win in Interlagos, so it was unbelievable there as well. Craig Jones in chat telling us he got a parking ticket.
Can't park there, sir.
Can't park there, sir. Exactly. Craig Jones not allowed to park where he did, but unfortunately he did. But we're going to be going 3 wide down into turn 1. Barry on the inside. Maxwell, Hunt. Oh, look at
Maxwell might have this, you know. He's still there. Gets pushed onto the gravel by Mick Barry. Now Danny Hunt has the inside for turn 3. Can he keep it? There's contact between the two.
Barry doesn't look like he's given up, mind you.
Oh, he keeps the inside, gets the better run out of the corner, gets the better run out of the Huguenots, and now into Rod Slootmakers and Schijvlok. They're still side by side, the outside line, maybe the better line to be here, but not in the Schijvlok anymore. The inside line very much favored there. Can Mick Barry slot in between the two and not lose the position to Andy Maxwell? Yes, he can. And Daniel Hunt is up, James, into P3, gaining 17, and I'm going to say it again, 17 positions.
And he got caught up in that turn 1 as well. Oh, not turn 1, it was up in through 4, wasn't it? There as well. But Steve Hefford is trying to recover his way back through. However, Steve's car does look a little bit sick there, I've got to be honest. He's not looking as racy as he did. There's a bad dent on the front right panel there as well, as these guys are locking horns once again. Daniel Hunt, Mick Barry and Andy Maxwell. Rizzo's got the lead by about 1.2 seconds currently at the moment. So Ches there leading us away once again in the race 2 after what was somewhat a chaotic start to race 2.
Well, race 2, we don't normally see it in race 2, it being that chaotic. But like I said, last week it kicked off at race 2 as well, as we're gonna again have a slipstream battle here to turn 1. Of course, Danny Hunt trying to create that gap. 5.8 seconds is the gap now to Elise Main. I don't think he's going to be able to close that down in the remaining laps, although it's not impossible. But behind this, look at that. Oh, who's blinking there? I think that's Hansford. Andy Maxwell actually blinking. Contact though between Hansford and Hefford. Hefford wants to get through this as well. Of course, we know Hefford also a pro driver, and Hansford though wants to try and maybe defend for Mick Barry up ahead.
I don't know. Different teams, maybe. Mick Barry. I think Hansford's trying to get on the back of Barry, but just can't do it because he's spending more time defending from Steve Hefford behind us, and that's wide. He's going to be trying running around the outside now. He has got the outside line. Hefford's taking the inside. That's Hefford through. Job done there as well. But Rizzo has lost a bit of time to Elise Main. The gap did drop briefly down to below a second there. So what can Main do? Can she climb up with about 5 minutes remaining? Closing the gap down now, down to 8 tenths. The toes taking it into effect and is allowing her to pull herself forward, Dan. But what do we reckon? Is there enough time? You know, she's pulled out a tenth already. Is there enough time for the rest of the race?
Well, let's just say that Rizzo has been increasing that gap slowly but surely. And I think that Elise Main just once that gap opens up to about 1.2, 1.3 seconds, I think we'll see that gap grow way faster. But yeah, she's doing well to hang on in the slipstream of Cesar Rizzo. But Cesar Rizzo, I think this is his chance to, at his comeback, win a race again.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy Maxwell there in 5th place with Steve Hefford tucked up right behind him at the moment. These guys are now battling it out for 5th and 6th place currently at the moment there as well. So there is Steve and Andy. Steve Hefford, Steve Hansford and Andy Maxwell with McBarry. So let's see how this free pans out now and see how they get on. But it's still an absolute incredible fight as they go round turn 4, dropping down into the left-hander or the right left-hander of 5 and then the right-hander of 6 before they go down into turn 7. The gap's still 8 tenths up front. We will keep an eye on it. Don't panic. We will keep you all loop. But this battle is just getting too hot and too spicy to not pay attention there, Dan.
Well, Hefford up the inside of Maxwell, actually. So what a place to try it, and is he going to complete that move? Yes, he is, at the same place where I think Maxwell did it to Hansford. So a good job done there by Hansford and Maxwell, and by Hefford and Maxwell. So once again, Maxwell holding it. Now Hefford's going to try and overtake Mick Barry ahead of him. Mick Barry, though, still has the lead of the AM class. Morton and Hansford, though, behind that, fighting for 2nd place in the AM class. Who's going to have that? The inside for Morton into the Audi S. That's that position done, although Maxwell now dropping down massively, losing heaps of time through the Audi S. I think just a little bit too quick on entry, and that is losing him heaps of time now. Mick Barry, though, still in P4, but this is going to be a vital run now out of the Arie Luijendijk bocht. Is he going to get a good enough run to keep that inside maybe into Tarzan? No. Not quite. I think already almost alongside his Hefford. Mick Barry might just want to give this one up now with, I think, Morton 2.5 behind him. Yes, he does. Allows Mick Barry through, and or allows Hefford through, and Mick Barry now still in the lead of the AM class. Didn't lose too much time with that, and can now hang on in the slipstream of Hefford and try to be pulled along.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to struggle a little bit there as well because of the way Steve Hefford is and how quick he is. You know, we heard it in the interview. He said he has got good pace here. Wondering whether or not where he would be without if he hadn't got involved in the fracas of turn 1. You know, he's still up 8 places. Daniel Hunt is up 17. Ches Rizzo is up in 4, mind you. So Ches doing a stellar job there with Andy Maxwell still chasing down Roger Morton. Morton's currently 2nd in the AM class at the moment with Hansford behind him. So I wonder if Andy Maxwell was trying to do a job for Hansford. It's a little bit more tougher, I think, for them guys there. So we'll just have to see how this one pans out. I think they're going to be coming round now. We will have, not this one, it will be this one and one more will be the final lap of the race. And
round! Andy Maxwell round! Another touch there, Hansford though. And that is, I think, if I'm correct though, kind of team on team. For the optical sim racing team, and I don't think much that Hansford could do about that. Maxwell spun it on his own, but yeah, unfortunate there for Hansford to be caught up in that. Cesar Rizzo though still in the lead ahead of Elise May. That gap remaining about 8 tenths.
Yeah, these guys are going to be coming across the line now. Final lap of the race. You see Barney there actually waving this evening. So that's absolutely amazing for Barney to come to work and clock in. Ready to wave the flag once again here for the white flag lap here at Zandvoort in the mighty Holland within the Netherlands. I'm getting there, Dan. I'm getting there. You know, within the Netherlands, to please my Dutch commentator, Daan Pepels, who has joined me this evening. So, you know, much love to Dan. He is doing a stellar job on the corner names, mind you. I got to be honest. I would have got half of these, so fair play, Dan, for, you know, telling us all what they are, because there would have been, you know, a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s from me this evening. But they've made now, closing up 0.5 of a second, 5 tenths. and not many corners left. You know,
Where she loses out though every time. The gap has fluctuated between this. This is the position where she loses out though.
yeah,
As you can
it's
see,
through
it's
that
too
section.
quick. Yeah, exactly. So that is where Elise Main is losing out. Maybe if she can get that section correctly, she would actually be faster than Cesar Rizzo. So there is a good opportunity that Elise Main, no matter how much she might be struggling with that section, if she can hook it up correctly, it might be an opportunity for Elise Main to actually win a race here because she's looking mighty quick in all the other sections.
Yeah, there's another part of the racetrack there. She's losing time as well. Round turn 11 and 12 through the Audi S's. Now Rizzo has got 67 in front of him, which is Charles Kellerman. Mind you, Charles has only done 0.85 of a lap because obviously he was caught up in the fracas from earlier on. But Ches Rizzo is going to come across the line and take the victory in race 2. Ches is in the middle of that pack. There he is. And Mr. Rizzo is your victor. Elise Main is in second. Now Dan Hunt up 17 places in third place. Steve Pfefford up 8. Mick Barry there in 5th. Roger Morton 6th. Steve Hansford coming down the start finish straight in 7th. Andy Maxwell 8th. Ralph Cullingham 9th. Dale Benison here in 10th place. Jamie Ayres is doing Jamie Ayre things. Will should come across the line in 11th, so he's getting that car to really do more donuts, Dan.
I think it's a trade of this car, and if you can control it like Jamie Ayres does, it looks really impressive. Though he's kind of like the drift champion of this class. Look at that, though. Beautiful display by Jamie Ayres and. Piet van Gool ahead of him, of course, coming through to finish. But after a win for Piet van Gool, now, or not a win for Piet van Gool, what am I up to? But after a win for Pete Newman, he's now back down and out of this race on lap 1 and down on 18th.
Not ideal. Not ideal at all. So, but there we go. All right, Charles Kellerman is down in 14th and here. Sir Alan Toon. There is Charles Kellerman. So these guys are going to have a straight sprint now down to the end of the line. What can Alan Toon do? Can he defend that last corner? Oh, a big puff of smoke there. Kellerman now has got that 4:10 run. Here we go. How is this one going to materialize? These guys are coming down to the line. Kellerman is not giving up. It's done now. Done now. Alan Toon is going to get it, I think. Yes.
There we go.
There we go. All right, Dan. There is the results for you. Off you go.
Whew. Breathe, everyone. We're done with the races 1 and 2. And, well, what a server it has been. Cesar Rizzo wins in the second race ahead of Elise Main. Second in the end, the gap between those two. Elise Main tried to hang on in that slipstream and tried to gain. There were a couple of places where Elise was losing time every lap. So if she can get that hooked up, maybe she's a contender for the win in the last 2 races. Daniel Hunt in P3, Steve Hefford in P4, Mick Barry, P5, and the winner of the AM class. Second in the AM class and 6th overall, Roger Morton. Third in the AM class and 7th overall is Steve Hansford. Then we have Andy Maxwell finishing behind Steve Hansford. Of course, we saw that last lap spin from Andy Maxwell. Of course, Steve Hansford involved in that as well. P9 for Ralph Cullinan. Dale Benison in P10. P11 for Jamie Ayres and Cole Hardy, P12. Then we have everyone who was caught up in that first lap incident. Sir Alan Toon, Sir Alan Toon, Charles Kellyman, Carl Jacqueline, Andy Littler, Darrell Wright, and if I take a look at my timing screen, Darrell Wright and Andy Littler in P20. That's the grid.
That's the finishing positions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Right, guys, we have got Ches Rizzo. We'll do the interview with Ches before we go in to Heat 3. Ches, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hello. Hi, gents. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. How are you getting on?
Yeah, good, man. Good. It's nice to be racing again with these guys. It's good fun.
Yeah, I bet. And you just took a victory as well. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, first race didn't go so well. I've been struggling with my tires quite a lot around here. Sort of mid to late race, my tires are going off, and I'm struggling on certain corners. And in the first lap, when I heard the commotion on Discord with the accident that happened, I thought to myself, okay, just settle down, just follow Elise for a lap, see where you're quicker, and try and exploit those once you get past her. And I managed to get past her, but I made a few mistakes. And she was hanging on to me, and she had to keep. She definitely kept me honest.
Yeah, absolutely as well. And she's put Bon Pomerigio.
Bon Pomerigio.
What's that? Is that good?
I, to be honest, direct translation, I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
But look, Jez, we're going into race 3. What do we
Yes, sir.
expect from Jez Rizzo in race 3, buddy?
Well, I think much similar to this race, James. Obviously, there's going to be the reverse grid to contend with. Any idea what that is?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So reverse grid to contend with. Pick my way through the pack as much as I can. It's a very tricky track, especially on the cold tires. So it's going to be sort of just try and stay out of trouble, get to the finish line. Maybe after second, third lap, see where I'm at and set myself a target and then just push. Push and see how far up I can get.
Well, there you go. Elise Main says good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Is that right?
Buonasera. Buonasera means good day.
All right. Okay. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
nearly, Elise. Nearly. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't speak any of this. So well done to you guys. Look forward to seeing you in race 3, buddy. We're going to jump on and try and chase sessions. So much love for jumping into the booth, and we'll look forward to hopefully having a chat with you, maybe at the end of race 3 or at the end of race 4.
Perfect, guys. Enjoy your evening. I'll speak to you guys later.
Take care. Right, guys, we are going to drop onto a BRB screen while me and Dan change sessions. So much love. And as always, I look forward to saying this every single week. I'll see you after the break. Okay, guys, we are back once again with myself and Daan Pepels. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us again for round 3 here tonight of this wonderful track at Zandvoort as well. So we haven't got long left of practice. We've got about 2 minutes to go. But Marigio is afternoon because it's early in the US of A. Okay. No worries. Pete Van Gogh just sticks his hands up. Like, I don't know what's going on. He's just giving up in general. But overall, what an absolute stellar race 2 there. And Elise Main taking 2nd place. And also, thank you so much for your... for you voting as well on the VCAs. That's absolutely amazing. Let's look forward to Boxing Day when we find out the final results, Dan.
Is there going to be a live stream of just you as a person when you get to know which position you finished in?
Yeah, it's like a Zoom call, I presume. Because obviously I'm not going to travel to wherever it's being hosted. It's like a Zoom call. So, yeah, there'll be a camera and I'll be sat here in a shirt and tie looking all posh.
Okay. I want to watch that because I want to watch your face if you win it.
Oh, don't, dude. I think I'll be crying. Physically crying. Like... tears of joy, like I nearly was this morning, to be fair, and that was just getting through to the final 5. So,
I want to see a big man like you cry.
hey, I've got emotional feelings, mate. You know what I mean? I don't mind accepting the fact that there are things that make you cry. So,
no, of course.
You know, let's look at it on the positives.
And it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Tears of joy is not something to well, what's the word?
I can show my emotions. That's all that we need to worry about. So there we go. Round 10 here at Zandvoort, race 3. We've got about 20 seconds left before we go in to the grid, ready to go for some absolute barnstorming action here this evening. And well, I can't wait because it's been absolutely classic. We've just seen an 8-car pile up in race 2. If you have only just joined us, you can go back and watch that as well. So just pull the slider bar back a little bit and you'll see an 8-car pile up where Pete Newman ended up on his roof, actually. So yeah, make sure you do, while you're here, subscribe, thumbs up, and turn on the bells for notifications because we've got some amazing racing for you. We are coming to the end now. Literally the last 5 seconds. And here is the grid. Dan, for race 3. Off you go.
Well, we have Andy Maxwell in pole position ahead of Steve Hansford. Usually, guys, this grid isn't right in race 3, so bear with us. Roger Morton P3, Ralph Cullen P4, Big Barry P5, 6, Charles Kenneman, Greg Jones 7, 8, Danny Hunt 9, Jamie Ayers 10, Denise Mains 11, Steve Hefford 12, Cesar Rizzo, Pete Newman 13, Carl Jacklin P14, 15, Del Bennis at 16, Carl Hardy 17, Pete Van Gool, Darrell Wright in P18, 19, Charlie Allen, and 20th, Andy Littler.
Right, that was right. So we are here, guys, again for the race. Once again, live from Zandvoort. And we are green. Andy Maxwell out in front currently with Steve Hansford leading us off. 20 gladiators across the track there. Pete Van Gool was already taken to the grass in the background. Ches Rizzo's trying to hug the wall harder than my daughter hugs her teddy bear as he's trying to make it down into turn 1 unscathed. But currently at the moment, everybody seems to have got through there quite happily. Daniel Hunt there. Ches Rizzo gets a little bit out of shape. Craig Jones decided he's going to take the shortcut over the grass. Comes back on in front of Pete Newman, who had to slam the brakes on. Steve Hefford there leading us away. He's got car number 66, that's Elise Main on his
A big
outside.
crash in the background. A big crash in the background.
Jez, Craig, Newman, Barry. Car number 37 is Dale Binnison, Sir Alan Toon.
I think, James, that started with Greg Jones, who was all over the grass after turn 1, and then after turn 3, he was on the grass again at the snap. I don't know how. Oh, that's late braking from Mick Barry. Had to move to the inside. Carl Hardy is the one we're looking at. And on the outside, I think there is Carl Hardy, I think, stranded in the grapple. Andy Maxwell, excuse me. And, yeah, not a great start again here, but, yeah, at least less people have to go to the pits now.
Yeah, absolutely. Roger Morton's out in front. Ralph Cullen in second. Jamie is third. Steve Hansen fourth. Steve Hefford in fifth. Daniel Hunt sixth. Charles Kellerman seventh. Elise Main in eighth place. Chucklet up five. Van Gaal up seven. Hardy up five. Wright up six. Littler up seven. Biggest loser is Andy Maxwell. He's down 18 places. So we will try and have a look back at some of this action that has happened already. Once we get past this first lap and it all kind of settles down a little bit, we will try and bring you it here. But Steve Hansford has got Daniel Hunt. Hunt has just gone past him and is now on a mission to chase down Hefford here, currently on lap one. Before they go into lap two, Jamie Ayres is up beside Ralph Cullen, and the guys are having a battle down into turn one. Jamie's going to make it through, blocked off by Roger Morton. He wasn't going to be taking the lead. Ralph Cullen's going to run him around the outside of two now on that run up into three. Let's see how this one materializes here, Dan, as these guys go racing off round turn two.
Ralph Cullen is going to try it around the outside of Jamie Ayres. He will have the inside now. For turn four, this is Hugenholtz. The exit though, the outside, really much favorite. We're going to go on to Ron Slotemakers and into Schijfvlak, and he is ahead. Jamie Ayres now ahead of Ralph Cullen, and now being able to chase down maybe Roger Morton, the AM driver at the front of the field. Although behind that, Steve Hefford diving down the inside of both of them, and that was quite a, well, decisive move there from Steve Hefford.
Yeah.
Behind that now, Danny Hunt tried to go down the inside of Cullen as well. Makes that move stick. Cullen on the grass though. Roger Morton out of that being overtaken by three drivers. Hunt, Hefford and Jamie Ayres all through. And Cullen through on Morton as well now.
Yeah, there's literally no time between the front six currently at the moment. You can see it on the left-hand side. They are all under that half-second gap, apart from Roger Morton, who's twitching on the edge at the moment as these guys go racing down. Daniel Hunt on the inside of turn 11 here. He's going to be looking at trying to go up. Is there going to be space left from Steve Hefford? There is. Can Daniel Hunt run him round the outside of 12? He doesn't, as he goes shooting off now down into 13. Steve Hefford out in front of Daniel Hunt with Jamie Ayres further up the road in the final lead place. Steve Hansford here with Roger Morton, Charles Kellerman and Lisa Main. Main in 8th place at the moment. But we'll see how this pans out going down into turn one with Steve Hefford and Daniel Hunt currently at the moment. There they are, Hunt on the left-hand side in the 07 car. Hefford with the yellow roll bar from Team Momo. Down into turn one they go. Daniel Hunt's gonna run that inside line. Steve Hefford's gonna try and come back round the outside. Can Hunt get in front of him? There's no room at the moment, but he's got the inside line for turn two. Oh, it's drifted across, taking the inside line for free as well. Down, that's Daniel Hunt up into second place.
Well, into Hugenholtz, he's clear and ahead of course, Steve Hefford. Ralph Cullen, though, lost a lot of positions, of course, with that momentum switch, and is now trying to regain them back. But I do want to point up back to that Roger Morton incident. I don't know exactly what happened to Roger Morton, but all of a sudden, he lost 4 positions in the span of 1 corner. And I don't know how they all managed to get through there cleanly, but Roger Morton, of course, being in the middle of all of it, did a pretty good job there to keep his nose clean.
Yeah, he just kind of got swamped, didn't he? There wasn't really many places for him to go, apart from sit in the middle of the track and just be overtaken left, right and centre. But, you know, I think from Roger Morton's point of view, Dan, he could have caused a lot more trouble when he didn't. So fair play to Morton. But Hunt now is up the inside of Ayres. Ayres is to our left. Hunt takes the inside line into 11. He's left a gap on the inside. There is Ayres in the corner of your screen, battling away. Nothing to it from them guys, and Daniel Hunt still slots into 3rd place.
But I think if we look now at the battle, there's wide. That's now going to give Hunt the run through, which will be Arie Luijendijk. Can he convert that run into maybe a move into, which will be the Tarzan bocht. It's going to be close though. He has that inside. He's already passed, I think. Are they going to make it 3 wide though into Tarzan into turn 1? Yes, they are. 3 wide. Hefford in the middle of all of it. Cullen on the outside. And again, a car park.
Daniel Hunt says, nope, I'm going to get out of the way of this. Ralph Cullinan's going to take the lead. Steve Everett in second, Roger Morton third, Steve Hansford fourth. Carl Jacklett up 9 places in fifth. PVG up in 6 places. Pete Newman is recovering back through. He's gone past Ches Rizzo there as well. So 2 major incidents here this evening in race 3 that has really kind of, how can I call it, Dan, affected the outcome of this race, I think.
Well, Ralph Cullinan now being given the lead, I think, after being swarmed at the beginning a little bit, as did Roger Morton. He now has the lead, although Heffert, though, really the one coming out of that unscathed and now being able to chase down Cullinan, having to overtake him again. We're in the 4th lap of 8, so almost halfway. But I think that Ralph Cullinan is going to have to put out his best defensive moves, I think, to keep Heffert behind him.
What's the chances for 4 laps coming into turn 11? Heffert's trying to run the outside. You know, Heffert's already got the inside line job done there. Steve Heffert is going to be taking the lead. And that is Ralph Cullinan now into 2nd place. Now, I'm going to try and have a look at the first incident. This is where it all kind of kicked off right at the beginning. So Jones comes back on track, right? And then he gets another out of Squirrelies, can't stop the car. Into the side of Newman, Ches Rizzo, Barry. So that really kind of started with Craig Jones there, didn't it? He lost it on the grass.
Yeah, like I said.
And unfortunately, he went round. Now, this is Daniel Hunt's incident. Now, this was not on his own. This was given the helping hand by Steve Everett. Steve goes in way too deep, goes free wide. They join together.
Who is this on? Who is this on, would you say? Difficult one.
Honestly, I think, although he needs the points, I think maybe that kind of racing could have been a little bit tidier. Yeah, Jamie has come across the track and closed the door on Heffert, and Heffert just got kind of pinched in the middle, and then him and Daniel Hunt just joined in together. But I don't know if there was need to be there. I think from Heffert's point of view, he might have been able to hang on hang back a little bit longer.
You know what they say, James, if you no longer go for a gap, well, I don't think I have to finish it. Yeah, exactly. So, well, he saw the gap, he went for it, and, well, it didn't end well at that occasion, but he's past Ralph Cullinan now. He's going to try to increase that gap down back to Roger Morton. Also, we're looking at Ches Rizzo now making the pass on Hansford. Hansford down into P7 now. Ches Rizzo into P6. Good comeback drive from him, though. He's still Hansford, though, down 5 positions from his starting position. Of course, he is an AM. We know that. And the only thing that he probably cares about is the AM championship instead of the overall position. He's in 2nd there behind Roger Morton. Roger Morton, though, only 1.1 off the lead.
Yeah, he's sitting in 3rd place, hanging on to the tails of Ralph Cullinan, really. Cullinan, Sir Alan Toon here having a battle, as another message from my wonderful OBS keeps popping up. I do apologise. So Maxwell and Alan Toon, Andy Maxwell goes through, but Steve Heffert and Ralph Cullinan is 1st and 2nd. Carl Jacklett trying to hang on to the coattails of Pete Newman, and Newman pushes through to Morton with little over 2 laps remaining.
2 laps remaining is what these drivers have, and Heffert in the lead. Cullinan 2nd, Roger Morton in 3rd. Carl Jacklett tries to chase down Pete Newman ahead of him. I think Pete Newman got past Carl Jacklett into Tarzan last time round. Pete Van Gool, though, he at the moment is in P8. Not doing too bad, I would say. He at the moment is up 9 positions from where he started.
That isn't bad going at all.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all for Pete Van Gool.
No. PVG needs it, I think, as well. He needs to be pushing forward. He needs to try and clear Steve Hansford so we can get onto the back of Ches Rizzo. We've got Ralph Cullinan, has got Roger Morton at literally half a second behind him. There's a gap of about 1.4 to Steve Hefford at the moment, as these guys are coming on lap 7. So 1 and 1 more. And it's whether or not Newman can catch Morton. Now, he's just pulled out 1.4 of a second. Going to be close for Roger Morton there, Dan, I think.
I don't think that Roger Morton, if everything stays like it, is going to be able to close that gap. That he first has to get past Cullinan. Cullinan isn't the slouch either in these cars. We both know that, James. And you know, catching up to someone is one thing. Overtaking, though, James, is another.
Yeah,
so
we've seen
whilst
a lot
you
of that.
might be quicker, it isn't a guarantee that you get past.
No, absolutely not there as well. Good evening, Zach Sweeney. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. Zach, our co-commentator here at JPB, covers the UTC with me. He's a league launching this Thursday with TSRC as they start their new season schedule. So Zach will be here on the JPB YouTube channel on Thursday. We will have 2 broadcasts going on at the same time on Thursday with the RRS Radicals with me and you and O'Leary, and Zach Sweeney for doing the TSRC, sorry, on Thursday evening for their round 1 league launch. So that's going to be absolutely amazing. I think Newman now is going to try and clear Roger Morton. Morton's making it increasingly difficult, which is just going to make Newman even more determined, I think, Dan, from this point of view. And I think he's got to be... Okay, so let's look at it realistically. From Roger Morton's point of view, right? You're leading the AMs. You've got places. Rizzo Van Gogh has cleared Ches Rizzo. And you've got 4 cars between you and Steve Hansford. Is there need to fight? That's the question.
Well, I would always go for that position as we're on the last lap right now. There he is, waving the flag. But as Pete Newman goes around the outside of Roger Morton. So off the podium now, Roger Morton. That was a late defensive move, though, from Cesar Rizzo. Pete Van Gool gets past him. But yeah, I think if it depends on what the driver wants. Does he want that overall position? Pete Newman, that was a late dive. Thought for a second they were going to make contact there, but trying to put maybe Cullinan out of position. If the driver wants that position overall, yes, then you would fight, of course. If he only cares about the position in class, then there's no reason to.
Yeah, I think from Morton's point of view, I don't feel there was a need to really try and push that either. From Newman's point of view here, Cullinan is under a massive amount of defence as he's under pressure at the moment. They're going into turn 8 as well. So I think, I don't know if he can hold Newman going into 11. There's a possibility Cullinan could finish this off. Now Newman takes a very wide line round turn 10. Now gets the best run out into 11 he can. Cullinan's got to try and take, in a weird way, the middle of the track here, Dan, because Newman can't have too much room around the outside because he's going to have the inside for 12. But
he's going to make that work, though. We know Newman, if you give him an inch, he's going to make it more. And there we go. Pete Newman passed. Steve Hefford, though, in the second, going to come up to win this race. But yeah, what a comeback drive for Pete Newman. Up 11.
Absolutely stellar job there from Newman. He is up 11 places. Cullinan is in third, sorry. So Ralph Cullinan in third as he comes across the line. Roger Morton's going to come across the line with Carl Jacklett right behind him as well. Jacklett is going to be in 5th overall, but Steve Hefford is your victor here in race 3. Here comes Ches Rizzo and Pete Van Gogh. Not quite sure what Ches is up to, but whatever he's doing is not going down the right side of where he's supposed to be, and then puts it into the wall. Darrell Wright and Andy Littler, they've got this run down into the line. Darrell Wright's locked in behind him. Is he going to pull out? The line is not yet. It's not yet. It's there. And Andy Littler holds the position for Darrell Wright. Craig Jones coming across the line. Dale Bennison, Charles Kellerman. Andy Maxwell is the last person here with Alan Toon and Elise Main behind him currently. So Andy Maxwell down in 16th place. TSLC Thursday is going to be amazing. It is going to be amazing, mate. I think the league launch should go off absolutely incredible. And Elise Main comes across the line in 8th 18th place. Oh. Another frantic evening of racing here for the UK SimRacers, and
Not yet, though.
we've still got, that's what I was going to say, we've still got one more race to go, Dan.
Yeah, it's not done yet. So we've got one more race of this frantic racing, as you called it, to go. And I don't think we're all too disappointed or too sad about that, because as we know, we love to take a look, of course, at how these drivers fight their way around the Zandvoort track.
Yeah, there you go, Dan. The results are up for you as you sped read the grid. Take your time, but we have got chase sessions, so not too long.
Well then, we've got Steve Hefford winning this time round ahead of Pete Newman, and Pete Newman himself ahead of Ralph Cullinan. In the end, though, that gap only a 10th at the line. Behind that, as we saw, a great race from him, and the winner in the AM class, Roger Morton, ahead of Carl Jacqueline, Pete Van Gool, and Cesar Rizzo in 5th, 6th, and 7th, respectively. Then 2nd in the AM class and 8th overall is Steve Hansford, ahead of Carl Hardy and Mick Barry in 10th overall, and 3rd in the AM class. 11th, Andy Littler, Darrell Wright in 12th, ahead of Greg Jones. Dale Bennison in 14th, 15th for Charles Kellyman, 16th, Andy Maxwell, 17th, Sir Alan Toon, 18th, Elise Main, 19th, Daniel Hunt, and 20th, Jamie Ayres.
Well, there we go, guys. That is another frantic race 3 coming to the end there. We are going to be looking at changing sessions again, so much love for sticking by with us here. Why we do that, and for the last time this evening, I get to say, we'll see you after the break. Okay, guys, we are back for race 4 here from round 10 in Zandvoort, in Holland, in the Netherlands. There you go, Dan.
Well, really well said, I think.
Thank you, mate.
Said it all.
Myself, James Parfitt, in the booth with Daan Pepels alongside me as we're here every single week, bringing you this absolutely amazing MX5 league. And with 2 rounds left in Road Atlanta and Knock Hill, and the championship as close as it is, can you really afford to miss any more? It's going to be absolutely incredible. I will give a shout out to TrackCams22 for providing the cameras this evening. Head over to trackcams22.com for all your camera needs if you're a photographer or if you're a broadcaster like myself, providing the best camera angles that it can possibly for us here. Now, Dan, I'm scared. And I'm scared because it's race 4. And if we've had incidents in race 2, we had 2 incidents in race 3. Are we going to get 3 incidents in race 4 and only have like 7 cars finish?
Well, let's just hope, James, that as always, race 4 is going to be a banging race. But let's also hope that it isn't going to be a race full of incidents. I think last week we saw it as well. Race 4 wasn't the most craziest race of the bunch. There were race 2 and 3 were a little bit more chaotic. Race 4, though, until the end, really was quite a clean race. So I have a feeling we're going to see exactly the same here again at Zandvoort today.
Okay. You saying race 4 is going to be clean?
Not clean, but it's at least going to be a clean start, I hope.
Okay.
I might be asking for quite a lot here, but I have a feeling that's going to be the case.
Okay. Let's hope for the best then, Dan, eh?
As we always do, James. Let's be honest. I don't think there is one point on an evening where we hope that the drivers will crash. I think we can safely say that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, here we have this week coming up for you tomorrow night. Well, more Thursday morning at 1 a.m. You got myself and Biggles doing the light speed racing round 14 W12 season finale from Interlagos. Then on Thursday, you got the Radical Race Series with myself and Ewan O'Leary at Mosport. And also on the same evening, you got TSRC there with Zach Sweeney, going to be live from Barcelona. Will be the first race. And then on Saturday for UTC round 9 and 10 from Monza with Dean Biggles and Zach Sweeney. I'm away on a previous family engagement that was booked up. So I'm off to celebrate my cousin's 40th birthday on Saturday night. So there we go. So that is the race that we've got coming up for you this week. So that would be absolutely incredible if you can stop by and come along and join the guys here this week as well, taking part. So absolutely amazing from them. Right, practice is over. The race 4 is now ready to go up and rumble. And well, we pray, we hope that there's as much action as there is in all the other races. And let's hope that it's going to be clean. So here is the grid. We've got Elise Main in first, Alan Toon second, Andy Maxwell third, Charles Kellerman fourth, Dale Benison fifth, Craig Jones sixth, Darryl Wright seventh, Andy Littler eighth, Mick Barry ninth, Carl Hardy 10th, Steve Hansford 11th, Ches Rizzo down in 12th place. PVG in 13th, Carl Jacklett 14th, Roger Morton 15th, Ralph Cullen 16th, Pete Newman 17th, Steve Hefford 18th, Daniel Hunt 19th, and Jamie Ayres is down in 20th. So that is the grid. Here is the guys out the front, at least Main leading us away. The Lioness herself is looking for an absolute barnstorming start here, Dan. 2 cars remaining down. Really quick prediction. Who's going to win?
I'm going to say that
Quick.
Rizzo is going to win.
All right, Ches Rizzo. Ches is down in 12th, mind you.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are away, way. Oh, big spin up there from Alan Toon on the start. And that's released at least Main to get through. Andy Maxwell in second, Charles Kellerman third, Dale Benison is fourth. Craig Jones fifth there. He's slotted into the middle here currently at the moment as these guys go racing round turn 1. There's a lot of free wide action further back. Hefford, Hunt. Oh, he's gone round. Hefford's gone round. Takes out Daniel Hunt. Jamie Ayres, Carl Hardy. There we go. Carl Jacqueline makes it through. And it's currently up 6 places in 8th there, Dan. Well, there we go.
Not the clean start, I think, that I predicted. But, well, in the end, I think not too much carnage, at least at the start. Sir Alan Toon, like always, dropping down immediately after the start. Not, of course, because of a mistake, but of course because, well, I don't know. Sir Alan Toon always just pulls over. I don't know why he does it, but maybe just wants to get out of the way of everyone and not bother them.
Yeah, maybe there as well as action further down the field here. Roger Morton, Daniel Hunt, Jamie Ayres, Pete Newman, Carl Hardy are looking at coming back through the field. As you say, Alan Toon moving over out the way there as well. Pete Van Gaal having an interesting battle with Ralph Cullen, and this is on the run down into turn 11. PVG on the right-hand side of the track currently. And there he is. There clears Ralph Cullinan, and next on his list is Darrell Wright. Andy Maxwell is being under attack from Charles Kellerman, Craig Jones, Ches Rizzo, Dale Benison, Carl Jacqueline, Darrell Wright, PVG, Ralph Cullinan, and then we go to a 3-second gap of Pete Newman. But we've got about 3 seconds spread from second all the way down into 10th place currently at the moment.
Well, the field spread at some points is quite big. Like you can see from P1 to P2, 1.4. Ches Rizzo to Jackal at 1.2, and then Cullinan to Newman 3.7, and Hunter Morton 2.6. But in between that, it's all within a second still. And as you can see, Pete Van Gogh up the inside of Dale Benison, makes that one stick, and goes up a position. Ahead of him, Carl Jackal, Rizzo 5th, Jones 4th, Kellyman 3rd, Maxwell 2nd, and Elise Main, the Lioness, once again, James, leading a race.
Yeah, 1.7 seconds out front at the moment, right? We know that. We know where she's slow. And I don't mean that in a detrimental effect to Elise Main in any shape or form. And you know, no DMs after, it's fine. At the end of the day, you know, we saw her lose a lot of time in the second and third sector. The upside is she's got Andy Maxwell behind her with Charles Kellerman. Them guys are trying to scrap as well. Rizzo and Jones are fighting. You know, this is the highest I pretty much think I've seen Craig Jones all evening. After being caught up in various battles throughout and incidents throughout the field. You know, I think it's Main's in for a good shot here, I think. You know, if Ches Rizzo don't make his way through past Kellerman or Maxwell so soon, if he can hang on to at least lap 4, I think Main's in for a good shot of opening up at least a 3-second gap and then giving Ches no chance of being able to pick her up.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Pete Van Gogh, you saw that there, James. Really wide on the exit of the Audi Essos. And, well, got a bit of the slide on. And Pete Van Gogh, let me tell you, James, he's pushing this car to the limit. And he knows where his own limit is. The limit of the car, though, sadly for him, is a little bit earlier than his own limit, of course. Cesar Rizzo in P4 chasing down now. Charles Kellerman, can he make the move maybe up the inside? Off Tarzan, there goes up the inside. The launch is a Rizzo, and that's the launch from too far back.
Sent it. Absolutely sent it and took out 2 of the optical green cars in one go of Andy Maxwell and Charles Kellerman. Now
He
maybe
licked it, he stamped it, and he sent it.
Yeah, he literally come by FedEx. He come from that far back that he literally just T-boned the cars in front. Oh, Jet. Carl Jacklett now in second, Pete Van Gool in third, Craig Jones in fourth with Dale Benison fifth. But look at Main's lead now, untouchable now, Dan, 5.4 seconds.
Well, that of course has given Elise Main the lead she wanted. 5.1 Jacklett though. Look at that. This man, I'm not going to say it too early, but this man has finally got some luck on his path. Can he finish in the top 3 again in race 4? He did it last time out. He finished third behind Charles Kellyman and Steve Heffert. Now it's Elise Main in front of him and Pete Van Gool behind him. Can he keep off Pete Van Gool? Can he fend off Pete Van Gool, I have to say? And can he maybe decrease that gap to Elise Main?
Yeah, here we go, race 4, Daniel Hunt, Dale Benison, Darrell Wright, Ralph Cullen and Jamie Ayres. That's that 5 group. 2 banks of 2. Further up, we've got Daniel Hunt. Still, is he past Dale Benison? Yes. Is he going to clear Darrell Wright? No. Not
yet.
this time. Not this time. Soon, I think. Because if he gets any closer, to be honest.
But then the gap is 4.2, James. So quite a big gap after that for him to close down.
Yeah, it's got, well, it's 4.4, isn't it? Coming and give or take a few tenths. Jacklett and Van Gool are side by side.
Oh, Jacklett off! No. Can he continue though? I hope he can. That was quite a hard hit into the barrier, but he can continue, it looks like. Luckily for Jacklett, not dropping too far back with that. Let's see if his car is pointing in the right direction. If the steering wheel is still straight, it looked like quite a hard hit. And it looks like that car is pulling maybe a little bit to the left. But for now, Carl Jacklett still able to continue, and that might be him trying to cut off Pete Van Gool. Pete Van Gool not having any of it.
Did he cut him off though?
Well, that might be the case, and I'm saying that because, well, he's gone into the wall, and that is not because Pete Van Gool all of a sudden had a boost button on the straight. He was there, otherwise he couldn't have touched him on the left rear. That's a touch from Callanan on right as well, and I'm saying that because he had to be there, and for him to be there, he had to at least be alongside with some of his car. Oh, spinner in the background. Oh, he kept that. I thought for a second that Jamie Ayres was round there, but he kept it.
He's
through the
Tokyo drifting the car, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's giving you something to talk about there. He's scaring you before the end of the race there, and he's doing a stellar job currently at the moment. Is Jamie Ayres? He's right in the mix with the battle further back. Ralph Cullen and Darrell Wright. Cullen has just looked like he's cleared Darrell Wright. Now Jamie Ayres is looking at going up the inside as well as these guys come out of turn 14. Can Wright close slot back in. Steve Edward has chased down Dale Benison now. So that was absolutely incredible racing there. Now we've still got 5 cars in this pack. Like a pack of wolves, and Hefford's done the fastest lap of the race on a 1:55. Oh, Cullen and Ez.
He's done it.
It's going to work out.
For a second he did it, but up the inside now he might as well. Yeah, this is it. The cutback now. He's going to watch that from Ralph Cullen. Not quite able to do it. Jamie Ayres up into P6.
Pete Van Gool is battling away with Craig Jones. Jones in third place. Up his... to be honest with you, Dan, I think that's actually his furthest position up the grid this evening.
Could be the case, you know. But if you look at least with a 7-second gap, James, I think if nothing crazy happens here, you could ride her down as the victor of this race. Carl Jacklett here defending for Pete Van Gool. Look at this. Yep. Oh, yeah. There was no room for Pete Van Gool there on the outside. You could see just the moment he went left into the barrier, Pete Van Gool was already on the gravel with his left hand side wheels. So not a lot else that Pete Van Gool could have done there, I think, other than back out of it, which I don't think, James, he has to do.
Yeah, I think you're relying on a 50-50 split of whether or not you're going to be looking at moving over or whether or not you're going to be looking at backing out. Now, should a Carl Jackley gave him a little bit of room? Maybe. Could PVG backed out? Definitely. Does he have to? Absolutely not. And as you can see here, Craig Jones doesn't have to back out. It doesn't matter if it says AMS or pros and I've got blue and you've got yellow. At the end of the day, you're well within your rights, and Craig Jones is well within his rights here. Having a go at PVG. Now these guys go
That's
around
how it's
turn one.
That's how it's done.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know because he needed more room. I think from, you know, I'm a big lover of Carl Jackley. I think the guy's the nicest guy in the world. But I think
I think everyone is.
Yeah, I think he needed to leave him a little bit more room.
Yeah. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, I think that needed more room. Steve Hefford, Ralph Cullinan.
There's also, I think, no point squeezing him that much.
No, like now, Cullinan's got the right to move because Steve is nowhere in front of him. Trouble is Cullinan, it's moved to the wrong side. He's
alongside though.
He's going to have the inside for 10. Ralph Cullinan, car number 32 there. Steve Hefford in the Momo with the bright yellow roll bar and the wheels. And Cullinan defends stoutly, I think would be the word. As you can see behind that, Roger Moore and Dale Benison, Darryl Wright are having another battle. And Craig Jones is still hanging on to the back of PVG. Hefford cannot clear Cullinan at the moment. I think Cullinan reminds me of Alonso defending for Ocon when Hamilton was behind him. And, you know, we've got Craig Jones further up. I'm sure Craig doesn't want to lose any more points. Oh, Jackley, where you going? Where you going?
That's off the track, sir.
Oh, get it back on, get it back on. Well, he's managed to. PVG, Daniel Hunt, Craig Jones now. Lap 7, we've got this one and one more. Oh, there's contact. Contact with Hunt and Jones. Guys defending.
Jones should keep this around the outside of turn 3. Here we go. He keeps it the inside now for Jones. The cutback for Hunt though. He's going to have a lot of speed, but overcooks it on the exit. That's definitely what has happened to me a couple of times racing here. You just want to focus on the exit a little bit too much, and you get too greedy, and you go too wide on the exit of Hugenholz. And, well, at that point, he had to back out of that move, had to lift off the throttle, and he's going to try it, I think, into Tarzan next lap. If he has the opportunity here, of course.
If he has, or if he makes.
Oh, there he goes. He's made his opportunity already. Daniel Hunt, and I don't think that Craig Jones quite expected him there. And I don't think that is why he's... And I think that's why he's gone wide with him. But if he expected that, he might have been able to cut back. But not quite this time around. Daniel Hunt made it work. And that is a beautiful move into Marlboro Bocht. That's the one.
Into turn 10.
9.
That's Renault book.
Yeah, that's turn 10. But he made it work into, I think, my book, where he got the exit.
Okay.
Into Marlboro Bocht. There he got the exit. And that is where the move started.
Okie dokie. Last lap of the race for Elise Mains. He's got one more to go. One more to go. Can PVG keep the looming Hunt back here for second place? Daniel Hunt's going to take him around the outside of turn 1. Pete Van Gogh, Daniel Hunt now. But he can move over. VG got a room. Not this time around, he doesn't. Decides that he's not going to do it. Blocks him going into turn 3. Round the left hand, and now, as we said, the banking is a lot steeper as it isn't there. This was an old config of this circuit. But can Pete Van Gogh hang on to this second place, being chased down by Daniel Hunt here as well? Jamie Ayres is still trying to get hold of Cullinan, Roger Morton, Carl Hardy. Roger Morton looks like he's just had an incident. What do we reckon, Dan? He's got about half a track left. Can PVG hold this?
Well, he's on the outside now, is Hunt. It's going to be difficult to defend. He has the inside, though, Pete van Gool, so he's probably going to push him wide. If he can, though, and there he goes. He's pushing him wide, and now he should have this. He's switched to the right-hand side, and I have a feeling that Pete van Gool is going to try and get the best exit possible and try and maybe to get Craig Jones to attack Daniel Hunt. Daniel Hunt has to watch out for that because Pete van Gool races with his mind as well. Now, he is alongside. This is a difficult move to try, though, into the LDS. Pete van Gool is going to have to stick around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the second part. And that's where it really counts. He's going to now push him wide on exit. But Danny Hunt, though, makes that move stick. Now has the inside for Kumlobocht. There we go. Danny Hunt has done it.
Here comes Elise Main, your winner of race 4. There she is. Led from start to finish. Here they all come. Jones is in the mix. Jones has got seconds. Jones stole second away from Van Gool and Hunt.
Oh, that was maybe a bit dirty there on the line from Craig Jones. Touching Danny Hunt into the wall. Losing Danny Hunt a little bit of speed, but I think at the end of the day, James, racing is racing.
No way was that. Watch this. This is Craig Jones when Craig Jones is on it. He's sitting here, currently waiting. Coming down to the line he goes. Look at that. Edges into the middle. Doesn't. Oh, okay, contact there.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant by Craig Jones maybe a little bit playing dirty on Daniel Hunt, but I think at the end of the day, well, what can you say, James?
Well, I think you can't really say a lot, and I wouldn't want to be saying a lot to Craig Jones either. So here is the final championship standings. Elise Main is your winner by 9.3 seconds over Craig Jones. Pete van Gool is in third place. Daniel Hunt in fourth. Steve Hefford in fifth. Jamie Ayres in sixth there, and Ralph Cullinan in seventh. Carl Jacklett in eighth. Darrell Wright second in the AMS there, Dan. Absolutely stellar job from him in ninth place with Dale Benison in 10th. Carl Hardy is in 11th. Charles Kellerman 12th. Roger Morton 13th. Ches Rizzo 14th. Alan Toon 15th. Andy Maxwell and Andy Littler 16th and 17th. Pete Newman down in 18th place. Steve Hansford in 19th. And Mick Barry all the way down in 20th. Right. Oh, no. I'm going to do Charles Kellerman first in the booth.
So good.
Good evening, Charles. Welcome in to the booth. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you, young sir?
Very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm very well. Just
Good,
in for
good.
epic evening of races. Race 4 was exciting for you, wasn't it? There was a very.
How do you explain it? I haven't seen it back. I haven't watched it back. So,
Okay,
but
so yeah.
I think that answers the question. Yeah. So what I saw, the Elise was doing extremely well out in front. Andy in second, myself in third. We knew Cesare was quicker than us, based on his previous races and his practice laps and qualifying. So we thought, right, we know he's going to come through. Let's just hope he comes through a place that's not a tight corner. But unfortunately, I don't know whether he missed his braking or he's coming in too hot. I don't know. But I haven't spoken to him yet, so I'll ask him what happened. But yeah, these things happen, don't they?
Yeah. Look,
I'll watch it back. I'll watch it back.
Go watch it back because it did look like he missed his breaking point.
Yeah.
And then there was just a one-way ticket to whoever was in front of him at that point. I've got to be honest, I don't think he could have stopped it. But overall, though, you know, there's been quite a few like major incidents. You saw it in race 2. There was like an 8-car pile-up. Then in race 3, we had another 4-car pile-up as well. You know, then we go into race 4 and there's a bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know what I really don't. I really need to watch it all back. I know it's hard to remember. Race 2. I think somebody.
Loose.
Yeah. So Carl got loose. He doesn't understand what happened because he was literally going, I believe, in a straight line, and I just saw his car go left, right, and that was it. So I'm not quite sure what happened. Maybe he had a hardware issue.
Well, he rubbed the grass coming out of 3, which
Right.
put him loose up the hill into 4.
Okay.
And then once he'd got
Right.
loose, he was too tight to the exit of 4, which means he had to come across. And as he's come across, he's got loose again. And then at that point, he's just gone round. And then everybody just kind of decided that they were going to come in and join him.
He did say it felt like somebody hit him, but we said that he was clear. So, well, these things happen. I mean, race 1 is in the waiting room, but Craig Jones, me and Craig had a fantastic race. He was on my tail lap after lap. I slowed up because there was an incident on my right. He took the opportunity and he made the overtake, and I couldn't get him. It was an absolutely fantastic race, though. So yeah, that's what I've come in the booth to kind of congratulate Craig on that overtake. I mean, that was brilliant, and also Elise with the win in race 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Done a stellar good job. Charles, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to this evening before you leave the booth? Because we're onwards and upwards to round 11 at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, number one, you guys doing this week in, week out for us. It's absolutely fantastic. I watch it back pretty much every week, if not on the night, but the next day, and it's great. It's great to look forward to watching it all back. So thanks to all you guys. Look forward to seeing you again next season. I know we're not quite at the end of this one, but looking forward to continuation with yourselves. So yeah, thank you very much.
No worries, Charles. Always a pleasure, as it always is.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So there you are, guys. You did hear it. At least made sweet success. Well done to you. Right, let's bring in Craig Jones and Ralph Cullinan into the booth. Guys, as you can see, we've got a full waiting room, so we're going to keep it nice and sweet. Craig, first off, congratulations on your second place. Taking it at the line with a gentle nudge on Daniel Hunt.
Oh, it's just a little bit of a love, a little kiss. That was all it was.
Changes.
Okay. However, Craig, the rest of the evening's not been so good for you.
As always is the case with you, you always like to point out the negatives.
Do you ever heard of the saying of a three-stage interview, Craig?
Yeah.
Are you trying to make out that you're a professional then?
Well, I'd like to think somehow it is. And basically, you start with the overalls, then you hit a negative, and then you finish on the positive. But if you're clearly not wanting to go down that positive, negative, positive burger kind of route, then let's just see it as it is, Craig. How you tell me from your perspective, how was your racing overall?
Race 1, really, really happy with. Race 2, where we all know what happened in race 2. Race 3, there may have been a little mistake by me. And then race 4, amazing. Just standard, really.
Well, there you go. Also, I'd like to point out as well, Elise Main just literally pointed out, Craig isn't up for a Simi Award.
That is true, and congratulations, by the way. Yeah, I did see that. That's really good. I hope you win.
Thank you very much. I think that was in line with your "do you think you're professional" comment.
Obviously, I joke.
Yeah.
I know you're a professional. I know. I can tell the difference between a professional and an amateur, can't I, Ralph?
Yeah.
Boom! There it is.
Yeah. You've been taught well, Craig. You've been taught very well.
Well, absolutely stellar job, Ralph. Give us a
Yeah.
rundown on your evening of racing.
Oh, it was off the pace tonight, unfortunately. Yeah, off the pace completely, but we hung in as best we could. Yeah, as best we could. And, we finished the 4 races. I got a podium. One of them. It was a good night overall. Yeah, for not having the pace, which I just didn't feel like I had it at all. So yeah,
Wow.
happy enough. But delighted for me mate Craig with his second place. Beautiful amateur win. Lovely.
Well, there you go.
Pro,
Oh,
Team Pro. Thank you.
No worries. That was one of our most shorter interviews this evening, young gentlemen. But as you can see, there is a full waiting room behind you. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me. Is there anyone you guys want to give a shout out to first? Let's start with Craig, as he did get the highest finish this evening out of the two of you.
Of course, thank you to you guys for the brilliant stream, the professional stream that you put on. The commentary is particularly professional. I'd like to thank my teammates and Result Clothing, and of course the inspiration that is Ralph Cullinan.
Boom.
Boom. Ralph, anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave?
I can't better what he said. So everyone, and especially Craig and you guys there in the booths. Yeah, thanks for a great show. Cheers again. Thank you.
Thank you very much there, guys. Oh, we've got for having a full waiting room to everybody diving off at the same time. But much love to everyone for joining me this evening. It's been absolutely incredible. Daan Pepels, round up the racing for me in one sentence.
In one sentence, quite chaotic at Zandvoort.
Yeah, Zandvoort has provided the action as well. Shout out to Charles, the team boss, says Elise Main as well. Thank you for that comment, Elise. It did give me great pleasure in telling Craig that he isn't up for a simi, where, you know, I am.
James, you are. Okay then. Yeah. No comments.
Hey, I'm allowed to gloat, okay? I'm allowed to gloat.
Yes, of course you are. Of course you are.
Thank you
deserve
very much.
it.
Thank you. I'm allowed to gloating for my top 5 Timmy nomination.
But last week, I don't want to hear anything about it anymore.
No, you're going to have this every single week, right up to the run up until the Boxing Day.
It's going to be long. It's going to be a long old 2 weeks then. Just a reminder, guys. Of course, the 28th of November, if I'm correct, James, the vote closes. That will mean that until the Monday before the last race of this MX5 series, I will be hearing James in every broadcast that he does. I will be hearing him about that. But hey, he's deserved it. He's worked hard for it, and I think all the dedication and work that he's put into it finally, have come to knowledge from to other people as well.
Yeah, so there we go, guys, as well. Thank you so much for joining me. That rounds out tonight's broadcast. Much love to all of you. If you have been here for the first time, please subscribe, turn on the bells, and don't forget to give the video a bigger thumbs up. If you are just watching it back and you think, oh, this is quite good, do the same. It's completely and utterly free. But guys, that is it from Zandvoort. We are on to Road Atlanta next week, but tomorrow I am off to Interlagos for the W12 final race of the season from Light Speed Racing tomorrow night. At 12, technically, is actually Thursday morning at 1 a.m. But about 8:30 for anybody in the US Eastern Standard Time. So much love to you all. And as always, from myself and Daan Pepels, you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.